Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. Presents Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert, a show that shines a light on spiritual growth, health, purpose, and financial education. It's time to emerge and begin to live out your dreams, walk into your destiny, while making a difference in the lives of many.
Welcome to Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert. It's always an honor and a privilege to come before you another Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm again here with my co-host, Tony Chambly. Just want to remind you that this show is being sponsored by Lambert Legacy Financial, powered by Core Financial Partners. We aim to teach the truth about money, engaging individuals and their families to think about and plan their legacy. We focus on some areas. What are the areas? Our family, because we want to make sure our family is set. We want to enjoy life, make sure we're having some fun, but we also want to prepare for future legacy. This show will introduce you to leaders, experts, and motivators who will share their journeys and their stories through personal and professional growth, knowledgeable tips, and lesson learned that will empower you to grow. It is time, y'all. It is time to grow your mind, your spirit, your brand, your business, and truly your finance. Today, we have a really, really good topic, y'all. I mean, we've been talking about infinite banking for so long. This is like another additive information to kind of bring in the infinite banking concept, becoming your own bank. And Tony is going to really dive into the 5 financial human problem, right? First of all, y'all know we have so many problems, right? But I didn't realize there were 5 key problems as humans that we need to worry about financially. So we're going to dive into that. So welcome again, Tony, as my co-host to the show. I'm so glad to have you here as always.
Well, good day, Melissa, and the same thing here. Always excited to be able to have conversation what we're so passionate about, and that's the infinite banking concept. And like you said, today we're going to talk about the human side of it. What is the human problem when it comes to us doing what we have to do in order to get what we want to get. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited too, and just before you even dive into that, we want to kind of give everybody just a little bit of background. Some people may be listening for the first time. Some people is just our regulars, but just to kind of give them a feedback of who you are, what's your background, and tell us a little bit about Core Financial Partners.
Yes. I'm Tony Chambly from the great state of Delaware, from by way of Philadelphia, and I am married to my incredible wife, LaToya Chambly. We have 5 kids and 3 grandkids, and we're in business together. We started learning more about the truth about money from 2007 and 2009 as we did our own due diligence, and we realized that was the missing piece to having the success we wanted to have, and we decided to embark upon the task of learning what most people wasn't getting information on and be the teacher of it. And by 2014, Melissa, we was able to start our own firm, financial service firm, which is Core Financial Partners. And what I love is our tagline to our name, Core, is Coalition of Rising Entrepreneurs. We have a passion for entrepreneurs. We met that way. We brought our kids up that way. And we have a community of entrepreneurs. And I believe everybody has an entrepreneur spirit in them. Is that sometimes we have to bring it out. So that's what we love doing, and we're excited about it. So we created this company, Core Financial Partners, and our mission is to help people instead step them from survival to security to success and then significance. So it's a 4S mission statement that we have, and we're excited about that. So survival, Melissa, is living paycheck to paycheck. We experienced that, and then moving up to the next step is security. That's putting away 6 months of available cash, not liquid cash. And then after that, you're able to put yourself in a position to buy income-producing assets, which put you in a position of success, because now you have your assets making money for you, where you can now separate yourself from having to work 40 hours for someone else, if that's what you choose. And then from there, you now move up to significance. And significance is all about leaving a legacy, right? Because when you move on and transition, right, if you only done for yourself, right, it's going to die with you. But if you're done and left a blueprint behind and helped out many other people, that's leaving a legacy, because it'll be talked about and utilized forever. And that's what we're all about here at CORE. If someone wants to get the significance and maintain it, we believe we can be the help to that, the assistant to that. Then we think about what our philosophy is, and that is that more money doesn't get or keep you out of a financial situation. Only financial education does. And we just look at society as a whole, those that, end up getting a windfall. And as fast as they get the windfall, they end up losing it, or it's just kind of drained out of their personal economy unbeknownst to them. And they look around, and this was my story, what happened to all that money, right? Mm-hmm. And when you don't have financial education, it really leaks out faster than you can even realize it's gone before you realize what happened to all my money. So that's what we believe our philosophy is, making sure we know that education trumps making more money. And then last but not least, our vision is to bring awareness and education that allows to have prosperity. So that's where we are with who CORE is. Hopefully that sums it up in a couple minutes. And, once again, thank you for having me to be a part of this.
Wow. I love it. I mean, again, I just along with the CORE, with CORE Financial Partners, what I love about is our the creed. I love the creed. Trust God.
Yes.
Love people and use money. And I love the fact that we put God first in our business. And that's one of the things that I love about you and LaToya is you stand for holiness, you stand for God, and you stand for truth, and you stand for the people. So thank you for your service to our community, to our corepreneurs, to myself, and to those who are listening live with us. So let's jump into this conversation. Again, you are tuned in to Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert. It's always an honor to have my co-host, Tony Chambly, with us. And we're talking about the 5 financial human problems. Listen, y'all may not think y'all have some problems, but when we are done with this episode, you're going to be like, listen, I am tired. Let me find a corepreneur, or let me speak to Melissa Lambert or Tony Chambly so I can get these problems checked, okay? So let's dive in, Tony. When we talk about these 5 financial human problems, what is the first problem that we need to be aware of as human beings?
Yeah, I want to look at the problem as we're going to go through 5 laws, right? And these laws it's based off our human behavior and things that we've made a part of our lifestyle. And the first one we're going to talk about, Melissa, is the Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law derived from Northcote Parkinson, a man that was around from the early 1900s to almost 1980. And what he came up with was three laws within his law that really can kind of tell you, how we have to be conscious of them, because they'll work against you if you're not. And the first law says this: work expands to meet the time envelope allowed. Work expands to meet the time envelope allowed. That means we normally work as long as it's available to us for us to work. Let me give you an idea. If you had like 3 days to finish an assignment, Melissa, you will wait to the second day on the last hour of the day to complete the assignment. But if you had 30 days to finish the assignment or project, you will wait to the 29th day, halfway through the day, to finish that project or that assignment. And so that's what that means. We tend to kind of wait to the last moment that something needs to be done to get it done. I like to say it this way. We normally take the last 20% of the time left to do it to get an assignment done. We normally wait. Like, I think about where if you had a wedding to plan, right, and you knew the wedding date, it doesn't matter when the wedding date is. 80% of the last time left, 80% of the work that needs to be done is going to be done on the last 20% of the time left to be done. That's how I look at it. So if you were going to get married on January the 1st, the year before, you will already have the last 20% of that time, you would have it done before January the 1st. If you get married on July 1st, you will wait until June, all the way midway through June, to get everything done that needs to be done, probably up to the last day. So 80% of the work that needs to be done, Melissa, is normally done on the last 20% of the time. And the point in that is, if we can defeat that and do it at the opposite, get 80% of the work done on the first 20% time available, your life will change. If you think in reverse and not wait to the last 20% of the time to get 80% of it done, but get 80% of the work done in the first 20% of the time available, your life will change. It sounds almost unbelievable, but practicing that and getting close to that, you would defeat what everybody else is being defeated on, and that is being efficient with your assignments and your projects that you have in your life. So that one right there is amazing, because it helps me to now prepare 5-10 years out. Like, I already have course goals. I have our dates scheduled for what we're going to do for the next 2 to 3 years. We don't wait to the couple months before, 3 months before. We try to get it all done, right? And that's with everything, even in my life. Like, what are we going to do next year, the year after? I'm going to end with this part, and then we get to the other two on this one, is that most people underestimate what they can get done. They overestimate, what they can get done in 1 year, and underestimate what they can get done in 5 to 10 years. They overestimate what they can get done in 1 year, right? And then they underestimate what they could get in 5 to 10. And meaning, most people try to get everything done like, I'm going to be a millionaire this year, right? I'm going to get this kind of production done this month, next month, right? And they allude to really look at what you can do, over a longer period of time. They kind of underestimate that and overestimate what they can do in a short period of time. And so that's what that means to me as well when it comes to business. All right, here's the second one. This one is powerful. A luxury once enjoyed becomes a necessity. This is Parkinson's law again. And the second Parkinson's law says a luxury once enjoyed becomes a necessity. Think about today, Melissa. Will we ever buy a car that doesn't have air conditioning? Now think about it.
No, not today.
Years ago, not today. A couple decades ago, you're lucky because that was a luxury to buy a car with air conditioning. Maybe 30, 40 years ago, right? If you have a full loaded car, then you have air conditioning, right? But if you bought a car some years ago when vehicles was first being made, right, then it would be a luxury to have it, right? Right now, there's no such thing, right? So there's no way you're going to even consider a vehicle without air conditioning. And that's with everything. Once you've experienced something that's good and convenient, you never want to lose it. You never want to lose it. And so we have to maintain, what it is that is important to us is what that's saying. We have to maintain and be disciplined to be able to live that type of lifestyle. Here's number 3.
Yeah.
Number 3 is expenses rises to equal income. Expenses rises to equal income. I find that this is where most of us are being defeated when it comes to the financial world we live in, where as we expand our income, we allow our expenses to rise with it, right? And I mean, it could be a rapid increase, especially if you're in sales or business. You can rise your income up so frequently and so often and so much. And what I'm finding particular entrepreneurs are doing is they're rising their expenses up along with it. And if that's the case, we're allowing Parkinson's law to defeat us. If we can maintain a lifestyle that we can be content with for a little while, right? And a little while could be a few years. You'll see a difference in your lifestyle. You'll see a difference in your financial future. You'll see a difference in your financial independence coming towards you versus going away from you, right? So what and I do this sometimes when I'm doing presentations and overviews and talks on financials, that I believe that the average person that is highly financially successful have maintained their lifestyle. Let's say they were saving 10%, and then they increase their income 15 to 20%. Now they increase their income, and now that savings of 10% becomes 15, 20%. Their expenses don't become 10 to 15% higher. Their savings become 15 to 20% higher. And they eventually start living off, eventually if they've done this over and over, Melissa, they end up living off 50% of their income. So that means they're saving 50% of their income. And what they have done is position themselves now to buy income-producing assets because they put away enough that you're going to see in the next couple laws here how that can help you out by just being disciplined, maintaining a lifestyle. I say this in this one Parkinson's law. This was said to me, and I never forgot it. The average person takes an income and wrap their lifestyle around the income. Wealthy people take a lifestyle and wrap the incomes around the lifestyle, meaning they don't allow the wind blow and put them where it falls, right? Where it lands, right? They are rather to say, I want to live here. I want my family to go to this school. I'm going to drive this kind of car, and they then wrap incomes around that, or a income or incomes around that, and then they start increasing it. But they settle in. They know this is where they want to be. They know they can be content for some years, and they just stack and pack. They just stack and pack, right? So sometimes we're too fast to get there without putting the income in place. And we have to be careful with that. We have to be careful with that. Grow the income first. If you're under the sound of my voice and you're a young adult and you live at home, this is the time to be saving 20% or more of your income. There's no other time to save better than to be home with your parents, right? And I don't care how old you are. You can be 18 or you can be 28 or 38. Doesn't matter. Stack and pack 20% or more. If you're living and you don't have 4 expenses that you have to take care of by yourself, right? So this is just the mindset, I believe, of how Parkinson's law, you can defeat it versus it defeating you. That makes a big difference.
Wow. I mean, I want you to repeat that last statement about Parkinson law defeating you. I want them to get that again.
Yeah, for sure. It's either you're defeating Parkinson's law or Parkinson's law is defeating you, right? The average person, most people, 19 out of 20 are being defeated by Parkinson's law. They're allowing the expenses to equal and rise with their income. They're allowing the last time allowed to allow them to expand, them getting something done. We're procrastinators by nature, but we have to now meditate, pray, and be disciplined and be active, be proactive, right? Not reactive. Go get it. Be disciplined. Stay content, right? That's when you can defeat Parkinson's law. It's just being aware. Remember, awareness and education brings prosperity. We're not aware of these laws. We're not aware of our human nature, our human problems. When it comes to just money, let alone business and other things, this is just talking about our finances, right? So, yes, defeat Parkinson's law. Don't be defeated.
I love it. And just to go back, I mean, I love the Parkinson law. Learning about it here with in Becoming Your Own Banker book, which is through R. Nelson Nash, it kind of was mind-blowing for me, right? And just to hear, again, this conversation had, people need to know, they need to understand what the Parkinson law is. As you mentioned, the first, under the Parkinson law, we have work expands to meet the time envelope allowed. Second thing is, is you talked about was luxury once enjoyed become a necessity. Then you mentioned expenses rise to equal income. We also talked about that Parkinson law must be overcome on a daily basis. So,
That's right.
wow. So now that we talked about the first law, what is the second law to our human problems that we have when it comes to our financial independence?
Absolutely. The second law is the Willie Sutton law. And this is a real man. The Willie Sutton was amongst us from the early 1900s, 1901, all the way to 1980, right? And this man was known, and it was notorious bank robber, believe it or not.
Wow, really?
And so, yeah, he was a bank robber. So here how it goes when it comes to Willie Sutton law. Willie Sutton law says whatever wealth is accumulated, someone will try to steal it. Wherever wealth is accumulated, someone will try to steal it, right? And someone asked him, Melissa, they said to him, say, Willie, Mr. Sutton, why do you rob banks? You know what he said? He said, well, by golly, that's where all the money's at. That's where the money's at, right? Well, I'm going to rob something else when all the money's in the bank. Everything flows to a bank, right?
Boy, that part.
And the thing about it, being a robber was almost like it was a profession. He was a professional robber for decades, right? And here's the second thing that I would ask. Who is the biggest thief in the world? That was asked, right? Not him, just in general. Who's the biggest thief? And you know what the conclusion is? Who the biggest thief in the world is? The Internal Revenue Service. The IRS is the biggest thief in the world. Because think about it. There's a story in the book, right? And it's part 2 of Become Your Own Banker, if anybody want to go to read it. He talks about that if you was in a mall and a gang of young guys came up to let's say, a middle-aged woman and robbed her, right, of all her money and all her jewels or whatever she has, right? And will we stand around and look at it, or will we report that and say, and witness that this woman got robbed by this gang, right? These men, right? And we wouldn't let it go, right? We would assist in one way or another. Call the authorities or whatever, right? We wouldn't allow that to happen. However, though, so in that scenario, it's saying that it's against the law for someone to take someone else's private possessions, private property in a sense. However, though, when it comes to Internal Revenue Service, we're allowed to make money, and our private earnings are taken from us to give to someone else, whether they, deserve it, need it, or want it. It doesn't matter. A part of what we've earned is taken from us and given to someone else, and that's why they look at it as the largest robber in the world, because our own private possession that we have sweat, equity, and tears for actually share with someone else that you don't even know, right? And that's where we believe they're the biggest robber, because they just like you're being robbed at the mall. It's no different than somebody robbing you legally from what it is that's privately yours. You worked, you put the sweat, equity, and tears to earn it, but yet a portion of your earnings is given away, and that's what that's all about. So the biggest robber, or the Willie Sutton law, is saying this, is that wherever wealth is accumulated, someone will be there to steal it. And once again, here's the IRS. The more you make, you heard this, Melissa, the more they take. The more you make, the more they take, right?
Yep.
And this is where economics come in, and I believe everybody should understand basic economics. Basic economics shows that, it's the more you make, it's the more they take. It's true. Now, there's ways to avoid taxes, when you're having corporations and things of that nature, but taxes are still being paid, though, and they're being paid in the large amounts. The more you bring in, it's just getting smart accountants always help out as well. So the Willie Sutton law is you have to position yourself with protecting your wealth. You have to, because if not, everybody's hands is going to be in what it is that you put the sweat, equity, and tears into. And sometimes it's being done unbeknownst to us. We don't even know that we can avoid it. We can't evade it, but we can avoid it. And that's why wealthy people that's in the know, Melissa, they spend tremendous amount of capital to get the smartest people to help them to avoid it, right? And that's where we have to, as we rise up and do better and get blessed with fortunes, we have to be in that position too. We can't go by common rules when there are uncommon rules set up for you. Like, I believe anybody that makes $85,000 or more should be working under premises of the uncommon rules. But what's happening, Melissa, most people still work under the common rules of money, and they're paying more taxes than their share of taxes, right? There's another rule out there called uncommon rules of money that the people in the know how to avoid taxes. And one of them is IBC. Well, think about it, Melissa. There's people that's taking the same dollars that we're taking and putting it in positions of being taxable, right? There's deferred taxes, there's taxes, and there's tax-free, right? Deferred taxes is saying, put your money here in qualified plans. We're not going to tax you on the seed, but we're going to tax you on the harvest, right? That's deferred taxes. In other words, it's really postponed taxes. Instead of getting it while it's little, we're going to get it when it gets big. That's when we're going to get our portion, right?
Wow.
And then you have people that have taxes. They just have to pay taxes as they have capital gain taxes on an annual basis. That money might be sitting somewhere like a mutual fund, right? Or it could be an IRA or whatever it is. They're paying taxes as they build up the investments, and they're paying capital gain taxes every year, right? And other taxes as well. And then you have tax-free. Oh, and by the way, you have estate taxes too, right? And then you have tax-free. Tax-free is where the people in the know live, right? This is where the banks live, the Bowleys and the Coleys of the world. This is where, individuals that understand infinite banking concept live, where you're not even going to experience, taxes on capital gains. You're not going to experience taxes on estate planning, right? Because it's already guaranteed that you can pass away and leave your heirs all that money in the death benefit with tax-free. And your money could have grown and tripled, quadrupled inside the contract with no capital gains if you know how to use it and borrow it out versus withdrawing it out. So this is where Willie Sutton, we have to know that he exists. And his biggest advocate in the existing is the IRS. And that's where most people are losing the most. Believe it or not, we have talks, Melissa, on wealth transfers. The number one wealth transfer is taxes.
Wow. And I love how even in the book on page 30, when it talks about how do we get around this, right? And it tells you right there. And the best way to do so is through the magnificent idea of dividend-paying whole life insurance. It has been around for over 200 years. So even though there is a problem, the IRS, there is always a solution to our problem. Again, you are tuned into Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert. It is always an honor and a privilege to have my co-host, Tony Chambly, the CEO and the visionary of Core Financial Partners. And we're talking about the 5 financial human problems. And we're giving you some laws from that, right? The first law we talked about was the Parkinson law. We now talked about Willie Sutton's law. So tell us, Tony, what is the next problem that we can face, and we actually have when it comes to our financial independence?
Yeah, it's the golden rule is the next one. The golden rule is all about those who have the goal makes the rules, right? Those who have the goal makes the rule, right? In other words, money begot money. Money attracts money, right? And so what this is all meaning is we have to store up a portion of what we earn. A part of what I earn is mine to keep. That's in the book, The Richest Man from Babylon. That's one of the first rules of money in The Richest Man of Babylon. A part of what I earn is mine to keep. And remember, I talked about the window to start. If you can. If you can't, don't sweat it. It's 10% of your what you earn, right? Put it away. Set it aside. Build it up to 12%, 15, 20. As you rise your income and you keep it the same, you keep your lifestyle the same, you'll see your wealth grow much, much quicker, much faster, much more efficient. So remember the golden rule. The one who has the gold makes the rules. And I say that is because if you're living under someone else giving you money, they make the rules. They can control you, right? Mm-hmm. They can change the rules, right? That's why I don't like the government programs, because they control it. If your money's sitting in a qualified plan, they dictate how much you can put in, Melissa, and they dictate how much you can take out, right? That's not, to me, control. Wealthy people don't put that money in a position of not having control, right? Because they understand when they have control, they can build leverage. When you can build leverage, you can now build for, your future financial independence much, much more efficient, much faster, right? So putting money away is so important. That's what the golden rule is. You'll find when you start putting the money away, or you're already doing it, opportunities will knock. It's like all of a sudden, it's rewarded for your good discipline. It's going to be rewarded, I promise you, right? Think about the scripture on talents, Elisa. Think about it, right? Even in the word of God, right? Even in the Bible, it talks about trusting with a few, right, and getting a few, but trusting with many and plenty, you get plenty. It's in the Bible. It's in Matthew's. So it's all about us looking at, and it's not just about money when it talks about that in the Bible. It's talk about time and relationship as well, right? So here we're talking about finances. If you're under the sound of my voice and you're not, taking a portion of what you earn and keeping it, then you're not experiencing the golden rule. You're not taking and claiming control. You're not preparing for opportunity when it knocks, right? And the more you have, the more you're going to feel power. You're going to feel the power the more you have, right? You're not worried about if there's a decline in the economy. You're not worried about if you lose your job. You're not worried about if your business slows down. You're not worried about if that investment doesn't fall, if that investments fall through, because you have reserves, ongoing reserves, and that's what it's all about. The golden rule.
Ooh, I love the golden rule. I mean, I love the golden rule. And just the way you started out when you said those who have the gold make the rules. Absolutely. Why not? So, and one of the things that I love about this this concept when he said I'm on page 32. I underlined this for a reason. I'm not sure why, but we'll talk about it. And rightly so, because the golden rule, those who have the gold make the rules. It can be no other way. Just the word when he said it can be no other way. We have to recognize when we have the upper hand. And this rule in itself shows us how we can too actually have the upper hand. Not only just this rule. When we think about what we've been talking about, Tony, we've been talking about infinite banking since March. And we're like, when I sat here, I was talking to Janice yesterday, and we're talking about this concept, and she works for an attorney for years. And she said, Melissa, you know what's so crazy? She said, when I was on the call listening to Tony talk about this concept, all my brain brought me back to was when I was in the office, how they were utilizing this same concept to pay out their executive directors and their executive people for the from the firm. And I was like, yeah, it's called COLI. We talk about that all the time, but when someone else came on and it opened up our understanding, like, wow, this is what they've been doing, but I never knew this. And I didn't know. She said to me, Melissa, I didn't even know how they were doing it. Why? They had the golden rule. They knew they owned the rule. They understood the concept, and they were utilizing it for their advantage, Tony. And now we know, now we're in the know.
Right.
Now we're getting to understand. We're, just like what CORE does, we make you aware of it. We educate you, and then we show you how to prosper. So we just went over the 3 first rules. We talked about Parkinson law. We talked about Willie Sutton laws. We just finished on the golden rule. That's the 3rd. So what is the 4th? Again, our topic is the the 5 financial human problems that we have, and we just talked about the first 3. What is the 4th rule that problem we can actually see that we're having right now?
Sure. Before I do that, though, the golden rule, though, we do know that the golden rule that is traditional is, do unto others as you will want done unto you. That's the national, more spiritual way of thinking of things. But this is the financial golden rule. I just want to make sure I make that clear. All right. The next one, Melissa, the 4th law is the rival syndrome. And this one, I experienced this one in a big way. I had to learn this and really keep in mind as I speaking to individuals about something, because here is what the rival syndrome sounds like. I already know all it is to know. I already know all it is to know. And that's someone that is closed off on more information. They feel like they've arrived. They feel like you can't tell me about it already. We're already doing that or already have that. When I hear those words that tell me you're not open, that says that you feel like you have arrived, 1% could be a difference maker on information that can be shared with you, right? So the rival syndrome is someone that is not willing to listen at all. Whether you've heard it before or not, or you already have it, you should listen. It might be a different one piece of information that might be 1% different than what you already have or already doing that can make a difference. And I've seen it happen so often when it comes to medical situations, financial situations, political situations. It doesn't matter. Listen, ABL, always be listening, right? Always have ears open, because sometimes it's easier to learn by being a listener or versus talking or just shutting it down completely. And I find the rival syndrome is so important. Also, what I would say to that is that there's a story behind this of there's a man from the United States that wanted to help out in the business consulting. He really found the niche to making businesses operate really well. This is in the book. And what he did, Melissa, he ended up taking his experience and his awareness and his know-how over to Japan. And Japan was doing really well economically, right? Their economy was falling flat real fast, falling downward real fast. Well, because this one man went to Japan, do you know they had one of the most booming economies over the decades that he was there? And he wouldn't be listened to here in the United States. So he then came back to the United States, Melissa, and tried to offer his services to them and said, look what I've done. I'm proving now, right, that it is what it is. They still said, no, we good. We've been doing okay. They had a rival syndrome. Well, we started going downward. They end up going back and getting this guy after they did their research on what he's done and, fixing the wrong. And this man is known in all the business schools all over America, and his name is Ed Dewing, Dewing. You can look him up. He was around from 1900 to 1993. He lived for 93 years. And the part that really resonated with me when reading this story, Melissa, was that even countries are arrogant. Even countries are feeling like they have arrived, right? And we as individuals cannot have that spirit. And I pray that we don't. And if that's you, listen, under the sound of my voice, always be listening. Always try to find the 1% in someone's conversation or someone sharing that might be a little, it could alter a little bit what you can do just to make what you're doing better, even if you're already doing it. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that falls on some fertile ground of someone that's listening and think about different areas in your life that you always want to learn from others that even might know less than you, but they might know something different than you.
Wow. I love it. You know what? And I like when they say this statement, when we stop growing, we stop learning, you know, and we have to begin to be open. Just be open, you know, open to learn, open to grow, open to know, because that arrival syndrome will definitely keep you in a poverty mindset and in poverty ways. So thank you again for that, Tony. And I like this. I think this is one of my favorite part, because if you don't check that, arrival syndrome, it will cause you to stay stagnant. Oh, now I'm good. No, I'm okay. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, I already know that. What do you know? Oh, I heard about that. What have you heard? Like, exactly. You brush it off like, you know, oh, it's just Tony. Oh, it's just Melissa talking. Absolutely not. We don't want to arrive until we get to heaven, honey. That's when you arrive. Well, not everybody going to get to the same place. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm going to speak for myself, you know? So, Tony, now we're like wrapping up to the last, this is the fifth, financial problem. What will be the last problem that we need to be aware of?
Sure. The last problem would be use it or lose it. Use it or lose it. You can have the possession of something, Melissa, and totally overlook it, totally underestimate it, and don't take it and put it to work, right? And I've seen people do that. I've seen people get a policy, and it's structured for IBC, and they believe it's all about accumulation. Wrong policy. IBC is about utilization. What's the difference? Accumulation means you want to watch your money grow and just let it continue to grow at the rate of return it's going to get and gain. Well, that's not IBC. IBC is a utilization. When major expenses come up, anything that's outside of your 30-day monthly income that you normally go and use your savings or go finance for it, that's when you should be using it at minimum, right? And that happens 3 to 4 times a year for most people, Melissa. So here is where we want to be in a position where we understand that having it should be a part of your lifestyle. But now, if you're in the beginning stages of having something like this, and when I say this, I mean IBC, you want to let it grow, though. Like, don't put a couple $100 in and get 100 out. Let it grow to thousands, right? I believe if you're starting from scratch, you want it to grow for you to be able to buy a car with it. Like, I think that takes about 4 to 7 years, right? Now, I'm not saying don't use it within those years for vacations, shopping, things of that nature, right? But give it a chance to grow and be an honest banker and pay yourself back. Utilize it the way it's being taught, right? Utilize it the way it's being taught. Let me read a scripture to us. Let me read the scripture, if you don't mind. Mark 4:25 says this: "For he that hath, to him shall be given, and he that hath not, from him shall be taken, even that which he hath." Isn't that crazy? Isn't that amazing? It's a scripture. We can't have something, right? Here's one: be married but not be married, right? I'm just saying, it's like you can't be married but not be married. Like, you're married and you're not being married. You're not doing the married stuff, right? It just come to mind that that's one of the analogies that, because have not. How would we feel if it's taken away? Anything in life that's given, right? We must use it, or we have it. We must leverage it the way it's meant to be leveraged. And here, the IBC is here for us to leverage and to utilize it and to make it part of our lifestyle, right? And so, being in business, we have to be in business, right? We have to do what business people do. We have to, be disciplined. We have to develop leadership skill sets. We have to have the leadership skill sets. All these things is having something and utilizing it and almost living in gratitude that you have it. And you show gratitude by using it, by doing what it's supposed to do, right? And that's what it says to me. So what do you think, Melissa?
I mean, listen, I love use it or lose it now. The infinite banking, because at the end of this page 35, he says the infinite banking concept must become, I'm going to say that again, must become a way of life. You must use it or lose it. And it was so crazy, right? One of my guests said to me yesterday, so how soon can I take money out? That's the first thing that comes to people's mind.
Yeah.
So I said, if you have money in there to take out, you can take it out as soon as you got it in there. But that's not the point. I mean, we want you to use it, but we want you to understand it's a way of life.
That's
it's
right.
not, let me just put the money in, I'm gonna take the money out, and then because I'm using it towards my policy, I can just not pay back. No. You got to be honest with yourself. The same way you will pay that traditional bank back, the same way you will pay that loan back is the same way you got to think about your own self. Pay yourself back, pay yourself interest, and make sure you're honest with yourself in the process. So, yes, use it or lose it, but use it and be smart with it and be a good banker to yourself. Please and thank you. So, Tony, as we wrap up here, how can we continue to connect back with just the knowledge of core financial partners?
Sure, absolutely. The first place I would go if I was listening to a podcast like this to get more information and kind of grasp it a little bit more of what this could be, what it could do for you or do for me, would be learnmorewithcore.com. Learn more with core, CORE.com. And there's a video series right there that have been put together in small, short videos that kind of talk you through how this works. And it's visual. It's like presentation that have been broken up into a little over a dozen videos. And each video is only 2 to 4 minutes apiece, right? Or you could, in addition to that, if you are a person that's working on getting rid of your debt or you'd like to get your mortgage paid down, and in a fraction of the time it normally would take at the pace you're going right now, go and watch a video that explains how IBC can take care of your debt, right? You can use the system to pay your debt off in a fraction of the time. And that link to that is coredebtstrategy.com, coredebtstrategy.com. And last but not least would be I would grab the books and go through the book that we just kind of referenced from Become Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. You can get that book by going to corereads.com, reads with the S.com, and you'll see that the book is the first book on the list there for suggested reads. And I would follow up with the book under it too, The Path to Financial Peace of Mind. Those two together really, I believe, give you a clear understanding of how this works, why it works, and how to use it as well. So, and our full website is corefinancialpartners.com, corefinancialpartners with the S.com. You can go there. There's much content there, videos, information, and also, different ways to be able to find out other services that we offer. Once again, Melissa, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this conversation.
Wow. Yes and yes. I am always excited to have you as a co-host for the show. I really believe you're one of my mentors, and it's always an honor to hear you, to learn from you, to sit at your table and really take in the information. I was joking with you the other day. I was like, Tony, you better hurry up and get me on the go because I'm ready to move in 2025. And, you was like, yes, Melissa, I got you. And that's one thing I love about you. You have a heart to really serve and a heart to make sure that the information that you're sharing is not just being shared, but it's learned and it's also practiced. So thank you for always showing up for us. And again, today we talked about the 5 financial human problems, and I'm going to go over them real quick. The first one we talked about was understanding the Parkinson law. Then Willie Sutton's law. Then we talked about the golden rule. Then we ended out with the 2 other ones, which is the arrival syndrome. And yes, y'all better use it or lose it, okay? So again, we are so appreciative of you listening in each and every Thursday with us. We love to come here to give you some information that our goal is to have you, again, make you aware of it, right? We're going to educate you. And our goal is, as you come with us on this journey, hopefully you can find a corepreneur. If you don't have a corepreneur, I am here. I am here to help you. And Tony is my mentor, so he's going to be on that journey with you. So if you are ready to take the first step towards financial independence and become your own banker, Lambert Legacy Financial, powered by Core Financial Partners, is here to guide you. And again, if this has been shared to you by a corepreneur, that is your contact. That's your direct contact. But if you don't have anyone at this moment, I'm here for you. Mr. Tony and I will work with you along this journey. You can check out our YouTube channel, Women Emerge Network. All our podcasts there, even the entire September, which was life insurance actual month. Tony was there for every Thursday. He was there. And every Friday, we also were live and we recorded that. So check out the YouTube channel. You will see some great information there. Watch everything and then go ahead to Coach Melissa. That's CoachMelissa.com. Book a time with me so we can go over this journey with you. Again, you can tune in every Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at womanemergeradio.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Melissa, Melissa, S. Lambert. Also on Facebook, my page is Lambert Legacy Financial. And listen, y'all, I appreciate you guys. I thank you for tuning in every Wednesday, every Thursday here at Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert. If you find that this episode has been helpful for you, don't keep us a secret. That's what Tony always tells us. Don't keep us a secret, y'all. Right, Mr. Chambly?
That's right. Don't keep it a secret.
Yeah, don't keep it a secret, right? Because it's out. We want to, your friends, your family, those you like, those you trust, even your enemies, they need to know this information because it can help them now in their present, but it also can help build their future. So don't forget to subscribe and to leave us a review as well. So, Tony, any last words before we end today's episode?
No, I just want to say that get that book in your library, Become Your Own Banker. That was part 2 that we just went through. It was part of part 2, and these laws are so important. Once again, it helps you out with the mindset and the thought process of getting to where we want to go.
Wow. Yes, y'all heard it best. Go ahead and get that Become Your Own Banker. Best-selling author R. Nelson Nash. Unlock the infinite banking concept. And don't forget to tune in and listen to us, but also follow us at corefinancialpartners.com. Until next time, y'all, take care, take charge, and continue to be great. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert, where Melissa speaks with leaders, experts, and motivators who share their journeys and their stories through personal and professional growth, knowledgeable tips, and lessons learned that will empower you to grow. Follow Melissa and Women Emerge Network on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at MELLISASLAMBERT and at Women Emerge Network. And visit www.womenemergenetwork.com. Remember, when you know better, you can do better, especially when God is for you.